Hello, everybody. Dragonfire here, and I'm coming at you with another one of my videos on my all-time NBA team list series. If you are enjoying this series of videos and other series that I may do on my channel here on Dragonfire Pro Wrestler, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz. It helps me out a lot. I just passed 50 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who is subscribed to my channel. All right, for continuing my all time NBA team list series, we have today the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Thunder were founded in 1967 as the Seattle Supersonics. They did win one championship as the Sonics back in 1979, where they went to back NBA finals in the War of the Washingtons. Um, with Washington D.C. versus Washington State, Seattle, Washington versus Washington D.C. In back-to-back finals in '78 and '79. And in '78, the Washington Bullets, representing Washington D.C., won. And in '79, Seattle, Washington, the Seattle Supersonics won the championship in '79. So they were a good team there in the late '70s. And then they kind of didn't really do much until the mid 90s. In 1996, they made it all the way to the NBA Finals behind the duo of Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Um, Gary Payton Sr. And then in more recent times, they changed their name to the Oklahoma City Thunder and have won a championship with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as the Finals MVP and I believe also regular season MVP. Yes, yeah, he was regular season MVP as well. SGA, they call him. And so it's interesting, the NBA recently announced that they will be expanding. So if everything goes according to the current expansion plans, they will have two new teams. They will up from 30 teams to 32 teams, and those two teams will be one in Las Vegas. That's kind of not surprising, seeing how the NFL got the Raiders a while back, so they have the Las Vegas Raiders. And so Las Vegas has been moving up kind of as a city in sports franchises. Excuse me. Um, and uh, as they moved up as sports franchises, um, they're getting an NBA team now. So, and then the other team will be, of course, in Seattle, and it's likely that they will be named the Supersonics since Oklahoma City is now using the name Thunder. And I think there's a lot of rumors that they may go the same route that the Hornets did when they changed from the Bobcats to the Hornets, and that was buying back the history of the original Hornets when they were in Charlotte the first time, even though that franchise is kind of now the New Orleans Pelicans. Uh, the the Bobcats slash Hornets bought back the original history of the original Hornets. So there's a different legal history than linear history. I talked about that in both my Charlotte Hornets all-time team list as well as my New Orleans Pelican all-time team list. I talked about that situation. If the Supersonics, or the new Supersonics, take a similar route and buy back the original history of the original Supersonics, that would give them one NBA championship and would minus one NBA championship from the Thunder. So it would kind of change NBA history, and the new franchise would already be considered NBA champions. So it would be kind of a weird situation. Now, with the Hornets and the Pelicans, it didn't matter as much because neither team has ever been past, I believe, the conference. semifinals, which is the second round of the playoffs, right? They've never been past the second round or the conference semifinals for the Hornets or the Pelicans or the other Hornets or the whatever you want to call them, right? Um, or the Bobcats. That's the other name I was trying to think of. Yeah. But in the case of the Sonics, it would mean the transfer of an NBA championship if they take the legal rights to the original Hornets back. So that could be an interesting situation. But for right now, the Sonics and the Thunder are considered one franchise. And so I have to give my all-time team list for this team, which currently stands at 2 NBA championships. Now, right now, as I'm recording this, I believe at this point, yeah, I think the Thunder won last night. So at this point, the Thunder are up 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals against the San Antonio Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. I maybe should check on that. I'm pretty sure the Thunder won last night. I didn't get a chance to watch the game yet. Um, but that being the case, the Thunder could be on their way to winning their second straight championship. Um, and the first team to repeat, I think, the last team to repeat was the Golden State Warriors in 2018. They won in both 17 and 18. So I think they were the last team to repeat. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've had a repeat champion if the Thunder were to win it again, but the Spurs are still in it, and the Knicks have won over in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks have uh, swept the Cavs, so they're on their way to the NBA Finals, right? So, um, uh, the Knicks, Spurs, or Thunder, there's only 3 teams left right now at the time of I'm recording this video. So who's going to win in 2026? But um, so I'm trying to take into this account making the most up-to-date list possible. This list may have to change, may have to be updated again if something happens here, especially if the Thunder win another championship, but that goes for the Spurs and the Knicks as well. May have to update their list depending on what happens by the end of this season. I always believe that my all-time list is always updating. Maybe a certain player elevates themselves, they win a finals MVP or something, and they elevate themselves, and now they're in contention as one of the greatest players in that team's history. All right, so for my all-time Thunder team, I got Gary Payton. He's a former DPOY. I got him at my point guard. Shooting guard, I'm going with Russell Westbrook. He's also a former MVP and averaged triple doubles. Why, why, um, Thunder? Did he, when he joined the team, were they still the Sonics? I think he might have come right after they changed from the Sonics to the Thunder. Not 100% sure on that. And then I got SGA or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at small forward. I tried to incorporate because I just have too many guards, but I just couldn't see how to leave any of them off the starting lineup. So I got Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They could all kind of be considered point guards slash shooting guards. Um, but I just was trying to make room for all of them on the starting lineup. Um, and then Kevin Durant, I've got as my power forward. And um, SGA won an MVP in Finals MVP in this most recent championship season, and he may go back to back on that. He's already won regular season MVP, so now he's up to 2-time regular season MVP. He could be a 2-time Finals MVP, who knows? Um, and Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook both won MVPs while playing for the Sonics slash Thunder. Um, and then my center for my all-time starting lineup is going to be Jack Sikkim. Um, I really wanted to get a representative of that 1979 Sonics championship onto the starting lineup. So both only two championships so far in franchise history, so I need to get a representative from each of the two championships onto the starting lineup. I'm putting Mark, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, Mark Dejano, Designsalt, as the coach for my all-time Thunder team. He's coach for one of their championships. Um, Off the bench, I got Finals MVP from 1979, Dennis Johnson. And then the rest of my bench, Sean Kemp. It really hurt to leave Sean Kemp off the starting lineup, but I just felt like I couldn't make it work. The MVP season for Kevin Durant and the other MVPs and the DPOYs and stuff put my starting lineup pretty set. So Sean Kemp will have to come off the bench. If the Sonics get their history back, then Sean Kemp can move back into the starting lineup because I'll have to separate the Sonics and the Thunder from each other at that point. But the rest of my bench, I got Fred Brown, Rasheed Lewis, Detlef Shrimp, Gus Johnson, Nate Thurman, or sorry, not Nate Thurman, Nate McMillan, and Sergio Ibaka, or Serge Ibaka. Anyway, here is my team. I'm going to try to get that close up to the camera so you guys can pause it on that and you can look and see all the names there. And I think it's a pretty good Oklahoma City team. Again, the history of the entire franchise could change from a legal standpoint in a couple of years or so. Um, but we will have to wait and see how that pans out. Anyway, that is my all-time Oklahoma City Thunder team. And stay tuned because I'm really going to try to get these out as fast as possible and finish up this series on my all-time NBA teams list. So stay tuned for more of that. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Dragonfire out.